Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Campman. Special guest today, this young man. He keeps looking younger. We got him on every few years. I think he's either found the fountain of youth or he's doing something because I keep looking older. And then I drive in the park and I said, well, who's that young guy? I said, this is Coach Slocum. I said, what's going on with this? Yeah. Welcome, Coach. We're glad to have you.
Always good to be with
All
you
right,
guys.
that's for sure.
Well, Coach, when I talked to Coach a couple weeks ago, I said, would you like to come back on the show? Because, for you people who don't know, he was just put into the Gannon Hall of Fame for basketball, and then went to YSU and coached for 12 years. He's our favorite guy, so we know that, and we say it on the show. Coach, tell us a little bit about the Gannon Hall of Fame presentation and how that went down.
Yeah.
First, my first question, how long were you there?
9 years.
9 years, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Albert, it was an honor. That was a special place to me. It was a great job, and you guys know, in the wintertime in that town,
it's everything.
That's we sold out every year 4 or 5 times. We were at 80% capacity. There was a 200-person waiting list for the seats on the floor. You had administration that backed you. You had a community in the winter. They were going to, where were they going? They're going to the Hammer Mill to watch a basketball game.
Yes.
I went to their game the other day.
Did you?
And I said to a guy, I said, watch what's different here. He looks around. Adult fans. They in Indiana have adult fans. I guess because of the size of the city. Is that possible?
Yeah, well, the thing that was amazing to me was I didn't know this, but when we were there, we were 124-11 at home.
Are you really?
I didn't know it, Albert.
That's unbelievable record. Look at me. I don't get shocked.
No one wanted to play. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember Rudy and my boys. They're going to Gannon, and they're like, no, we're not. Like a tournament.
It was a special time. My children were there. My grandson was there. It was just a nice night. Saw a lot of players. There was a lot of guys that didn't come back for the banquet but came back for the game.
Awesome.
Kim and I came out to start to watch, the game, and we probably had 7 or 8 guys come up, and I hadn't seen them since before I left. Even some of those guys came back, 18, 19 years ago. So it was a special time.
Well, it really was. And when I saw that, I said, we're going to have to get Coach to talk a little bit about the relationships that are important in the game of basketball. You've been in it so long. We know the wins. You said 124. We know 800 wins. But tell us a little bit about the other side of that we haven't really hit on here.
Well, I got to be honest with you. It brought me to tears. I got an email from one of the players after we were up there. And it's funny. You guys know this. There's such a pain in the butt when you get.
Oh yes.
When you have.
They think you are at the time too.
Like this guy who sends me this text, and he says to me, you meant so much to me. I named my son after Aaron. His name is Aaron. And I said.
How about that?
And I said to Kim, I said, I didn't think he liked me.
No, I tortured him. I told him.
I didn't think he liked me.
But here's the point, Coach. I come in here. He probably didn't like you. He loves you. With our own kids.
Right.
There's days we don't like our own kids.
And then
but we love them. There's a different story.
Right. And then there was another guy that came in, and I saw him, and his dad came over, and he said, "Do you remember the meeting that you had in your office?" And I said, yes. And I said, I told you that if, Matt cut another class, that he was done. And there wasn't no wiggle room. It was, and I had him and his wife, and him and his wife were there crying. And I said, listen, we've given the guy 10 chances. The next time he misses a class, he's done. And I said, I don't mean miss a class. I said, if he's a minute left, or a minute late, I should say, in that class, he's done. I said, he's done. Now,
this is the limit, right?
Well, and this is what I'm doing. I said, he has been starting for us. He's going to set the next 2 games. And then I'm going to bring him back. This was his sophomore year. He graduated. He's got 3 kids. and he gave me
another story.
Yeah, it sends chills. It gives me
It
chills,
does.
and so that's what you mean to kids. It's to work with kids like that. You're part of the solution. You know what I mean? You're not. It would have been very easy for me to say, "Okay, you're gone," or it'd be very easy for me to say, "You know what? I'm not dealing with you. I'm putting you down. I don't like. I'm going to treat you bad, whatever." But you have a problem. Are you going to be a part of the problem, or are you going to be a solution to the problem?
say it better
And
than
when
that.
you invest like that, you're a part of the solution.
Well, I just got to my track team before I came over, and I used the line I was using with you. This was what you do for kids, not to kids.
Right.
And if they can understand that,
That's right.
then you've made it clear.
And
what
there's so
relationship-
many coaches that don't get that.
Oh,
You know what I mean? There's so many.
I've
There's
seen
so
them.
many coaches that think that, well, I'm just going to discipline them, and that there's no love involved with it.
Right.
And believe me, as we know,
Yes.
do you want to win? You do.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I said at Gannon was one of the terms that's one of the most respected, dearest terms that I always was flattered to be called, and that's coach.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
beat it.
There's something
You know
about
what I mean? When we were growing up, that was like,
It's everything.
that I read an article one time it was a list in a USA Today newspaper. Obviously, this was a while ago.
Right.
And it said, list the 10 most important people in the world. Number 1 was the president. Number 2, now you gotta listen to this. Number 2 was the Pope. Number 3 was the term coach.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that stuck with me.
Wow.
I was like 10 years into my coaching career, and that stuck with me for the rest of my time, because that, as we know, is so endearing, because you can be a life changer, or you can be a part of the problem.
You can be either way.
Yeah.
You change your life in either direction.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
right.
you
You
do.
did with that kid. He may not have made it at the rate he was going, cutting class and missing.
Yeah.
And it just made me think too, for all these people that say they're not role models, coaches, and they are most certainly. And I think especially the lower down, like kids just revered. I have a guy, he's 70 years old. He talks about his junior high basketball coach to me almost daily.
Yeah. And again, we know, because we've been around those young guys, what you put in, you take out. Are you going to put in an investment and like I said, be a part of the solution? We all have troubled kids.
Every one of us.
You know what I mean? There's no ideal kid. They're going to have kids that are going to be troubled kids. Are you going to invest in them? Are you going to have a kind word from them? I mean, I know kids that their coach will go 2 weeks without saying even hi to those guys. You know how to say,
know.
and you just can't treat kids like that.
No, you can't. And that leads into in today's world, the money being paid to these coaches, that they'll sell their soul
Yeah.
to win a game, coach. And I know at the high level you had at YSU, you had to see that out there many times and had to shake your, because that's your thing. Integrity is your thing. That's, all the people that know you, have worked with you, the coaches. There's some out there right now that are winning games that don't have that coach. I know you've seen it.
Yeah, and I don't care what level you go. I mean, there were guys in the Horizon League that were paying, AAU coaches, for
Right.
kids.
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
Horizon.
we're not talking about Arizonas of the world. Yeah, we're
Right.
talking the Horizon.
I mean,
Yes.
so every way along the line, and then you get to the higher
Oh, my.
programs.
Yes.
And you see, the amount of talent that they have, and then you're seeing all the court cases and all this other stuff.
Yes.
So I'm not going to put any negative light on stuff that we don't know.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
the truth.
You know what I mean?
It's the truth.
Obviously, there's a lot of guys that are going to be questioned here in the next 3 or 4
coming.
5 months, and I think we're all waiting for some answers on a guy that we saw
yes,
grow
no
up.
question.
So we'll see how that falls out, but it's out there. We're joking ourselves if we don't think it is.
You're
Let's talk-
naive, huh? You're naive. Like we talk about, he's such a trusting guy.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I said, I think that, Because when we hear Creighton's paying $150,000, and they're middle of the pack at best,
Yeah.
how are these guys deciding on wherever they're going?
Absolutely.
Changing to another area, basketball today. I struggle with it mightily, and you guys are much more adaptive than me. Coach, I'm watching high school, college, and pros now, and it's all filtered down to individual basketball. It really bothers me. If I watch 20 possessions, I see 16 high screen and rolls at the top, and the other 4 are dribble handoffs going to the basket. And when you see Coach, how do you say, D'Antoni from Houston,
Yeah.
make the statement,
You're not allowed to
you're
move?
not allowed to move. If you move, I'm taking you out of the game.
I think-
Now, Coach, I grew up with the guy, the greatest coach ever, said all 5 guys move, all 5 good move. Now he's telling guys, one guy has the ball. He wants to know where you 4 are standing. Tell me your thoughts on it, because you're more adaptive. You can see the good and the bad and everything. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, Harding's sending the game back 10 years. I
Oh.
mean, I don't care if he had 45 last night in a win or not.
So
one-
we
one-
agree on that one, don't we?
500 dribbles. I read it with.
Yeah.
He dribbled 482 times. I called him. I go, that was less than he dribbled before.
523 the other night. You know what I mean? And you look at the game, Albert, that way, and you sit there and you say, whether you like LeBron or whether you don't. I was a LeBron fan from a basketball perspective because he brought the pass back into the NBA. Because he would give the ball
He would give the
up.
ball up, yes, he would.
You know what I mean? And he made the pass fashionable. And now what Harding has done is you've got kids out there dribbling like that all the time.
My grandsons.
And you sit there and you say,
Oh,
what are they doing? And people moving relevant to people standing. Look at Duke. They still got 2 or 3 first-round picks, and they can't win without one first-round pick.
I said that to him. They
You know
get
what I'm
beat by
saying?
20 on their home floor,
You know what
and
I
they
mean?
have 2 of the 5.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have 3 guys to 4 guys go in the first round.
Right.
One guy goes out, and now the ball can't move for enough for them to find somebody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what's interesting about the game. Like you
Do
said.
you think we'll go back? We'll go back to ever being a passing style game because
don't
everybody
know.
does it. Like I told you, it started pros, but now it's in college. Tom Izzo, I thought you and Tom Izzo were the offensive geniuses. If I got something from you, I watch TV and watch Izzo. He always had something. Just dribbles the ball and hands off.
Plays like everybody else.
Everybody. That's all because the recruiter, the kids want to know when they come in.
Yeah. Well, like you said, watch a game. How many high ball screens are you going to get?
No, it's
You
too
know what
much.
I mean?
I can't take it.
And one of the things that's kind of been a difference in the last couple of months that I've noticed is that now they're going to weave
And then
that
run
ball
into it,
screen.
yes.
You know what I mean? So that the defense cannot.
Little movement for yes.
can't load it up. And when I see that, I say, well, maybe there's a chance. But here's the killer for me. And I turn the TV off. I've watched less college basketball
I can see why.
this year than I have in my lifetime, and not because I've retired from coaching, because I can't stand
you're seeing.
to watch it. How many times do you see the game come down to the end, and they stand out there, and they dribble and they dribble and dribble and dribble and dribble, and then they'll take a pressured
Hero ball.
27-foot.
When 2 will win it. How about when 2 will win it? They take the look at me 3.
And they can't run something
No.
to
Don't even
move them
attempt to.
around.
Don't even attempt
You know what I
to.
mean? And let's face it, in that situation, every college coach in the country is switching that ball screen.
Yes, everything, every one of them.
They're all switching
And
so
they
that
saw those
so that
coming.
the guy doesn't have doesn't get that gap.
You had 6 plays ready for that.
Yeah.
I watched your practices. You
Yeah.
had something ready.
I watched one of those big guys get the ball the other night with 3.2 and just heave it into the middle of the floor from the other end. I had several things. They might not have worked,
Right.
but we had
That's
something.
exactly right.
3.2 seconds is a lot of time.
It's 2, 3 dribbles and a shot.
I spoke in the fall and with some basketball coaches, and I said to them, I said, you're not worth your salt if the ball's coming in the sideline with 3, 5, and 10 seconds, and you don't have your first play, your second play, and your
Yes.
third play. if you're bringing the ball down in the middle of the floor with 20 seconds to go or 30 seconds to go, and you want the last shot, are you going to hold it, or are you going to play, move the ball in play,
Yes.
and then at the 9-second or 10-second mark,
Your kids get into it. Yes.
morph that into
Yes.
a play,
Yes.
rather than just standing out there and let everybody get all situated.
Frustrating.
You know what I mean?
So
and
frustrating.
hoping that you might get a dribble and maybe a kick,
Yeah.
because that's where the really open shots are
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
in today's basketball.
Most of these guys aren't kicking.
But also,
they're
you get-
look at me, I'm getting this one.
But also to get movement. This is Coach McCluskey. This is 60 years ago. And it's still today. If you get movement and you do take the shot, the offensive rebound's going to win the game. He said some more games are won off the offensive
Stand
board.
there.
But so if you're just standing there and they can block out their guy, you aren't getting a second shot either. So that's what you want. You want to get a second
Right,
shot.
and again,
up there.
and I talk to those guys about, you come down, you got 28 seconds, and you want to have the last shot.
Yes.
Well, then you're running a 5-out motion offense, pass, screen, cut, curl cut, step back, and at the 10-second mark, bam! Then you're running in to your favorite play for your favorite player.
Yeah, best players. Not just a play.
No.
What player do you want?
Play for your best player.
Yeah, when you beat Oakland with that tremendous win, that play was in place as leaving the huddle.
We ran that play.
No, 90,000 times. But
You know what I
also
mean?
because you did it, you could say to them, "Listen, they're going to jump you.
Yeah.
Get ready for that pass underneath the basket." I remember you telling me that
and-
you were ready for it.
And here's the thing about it: we're running that thing with 7 seconds, so that he has the option to shoot it, drive it, kick it, or pass it,
Yes.
rather than those guys catching that thing with 3 seconds. Got to take
You
something.
got to throw some ridiculous shot that you know can't go in. There's no time for a tip. Usually the missed shot wins the game.
That's right.
I tell all these guys on defense, repeat back to me. We need to get the basketball. We have not won, whatever.
Wow.
And I watch Pitt lose on an air ball on a tip,
Yes,
and,
yes.
and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But how much easier people are to go out. Now, I'm wondering in the play. Now, college and pro are different in that they have to shoot it. I mean, high school, it
Yes.
could. But my question would be, do you think in the playoffs they'll run 2 at Harden or something? Or they're just going to let him go for 50?
They have enough perimeter shooting.
Yes, they do.
And here's the thing: I don't care if they win it all. I still not gonna like them.
No, but it might make
agree.
more
You know what I'm
people
saying?
do it, though.
To me, my guess is that they'll get down to the end, and I don't know why they just don't trap him. Just trap the heck out of him every
Why
time
not?
that he's in there. And if they have to pitch it out to a big, let the big deal with it.
Yes.
80% of the ball screens are with their big
Give it
kids.
back to the big guy.
Yeah.
I agree.
If he wants the ball, okay, you can have it.
Yeah.
What's he
Just
got? I watched him the other night.
Gap everybody up so
Yeah.
you can get to the 3, and then trap the heck out of him.
Now, Coach, that's coaching. Now we go to the part that I know you really disliked last time I talked to you, the physicality of the game. And since you haven't watched as much, you may not have seen it. What's your thoughts on that now? Remember, you thought that's the part they were not.
Oh, it's back to being a football game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I thought you thought that.
It's back. It's back to being a football game. Well, I think one of the things with the Horizon League that I was so unhappy with in my last couple of years is that they went to the Big Ten officials. They changed and had a
Muscle league. That's the muscle league of
Yeah,
all
they
muscle
went to a
leagues.
conglomerate
yeah.
with a group of officials that were doing the Big Ten. They do the MAC. They did the Horizon League, and by 1 year into the Horizon League, it was nothing but a football game.
Right. That's
You
what
know
the
what I
Big
mean?
Ten plays.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of things. Remember 3 years ago, Albert, you couldn't touch a guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that first year.
That's what they tried to say.
Yeah.
They made that rule and said, listen, we're going to really call them. And remember a couple scrimmages you had.
Oh,
Remember you said come back and say, oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
That's on the ball.
right. Well, yeah. And then they made all these rules that were going to say, well, we're going to take away the cut. We're going to,
Jam the cutter type
if you
thing,
jam
yes.
the cutter. Right now it's you better be in the weight room because it's a physical.
And he talks
it's a
about
physical
Division
match.
Two at Slippery Rock.
We sat together one night, and I always tell everybody, you looked over to me and said, this is unbelievable.
I know.
It's like this kid from Greenville went over to Pitt Johnstown.
Good player.
Good player. And I went to the game up there at Slippery Rock, and they just knocked them all over the floor.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, you understand after the game.
It's so the Division II basketball right now, George. It's so physical.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
No, that's what it is. See, what they do is they get the 6'6" kid who can't play Division I. They're a really good player, and they put him in the post, and he's about 6'6", 255, and he'll murderlize you because he's big as everybody else, and just puts his body on people and moves everybody out of the way. It's pretty amazing.
The college game's more physical than the NBA game.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know, I mean, when you stop and look about how you'll see the NBA guys blowing the whistle, two hands.
They call immediately.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because they want the stars. They want people to succeed offensively.
Right.
They want the league to be an offensive league. There's no question about it.
Look at the scores. Look at the college scores.
Oh, I know.
There's been the 58.
They're the 60s and 55s. I know.
They've had games that have been in the 40s now.
I know.
Pitt did
48,
hit
46
50
the other day.
The other night.
I saw Pitt was going to Virginia. I said to my buddies, now they're not getting 50. And I don't know a lot about it. I don't bet or anything. But I know they're not getting 50
I
tonight.
have a friend, Albert, that calls me once in a while, and he says, what do you like about this game? And he calls me and he goes, it was a Virginia game.
No.
And he says, the over and unders won like 135.
That's what it is. No,
It was
that's
135.
high for Virginia.
And I said, take the under, buddy.
Because the other team's not getting 60.
they ain't getting that.
no.
No.
No, not when they play.
No.
They still play basketball the old-fashioned way. All screens all over the floor, playing the gaps, like double team the post inside. Coach, let's go to the next area I wanted to cover with you. You talked about the relationship you had with coaches, and you still stay in touch. Tell us some of the things you've done. I know I've talked to you, that you still stay in touch with
I
coaches.
probably this year, guys, I probably have spoken at 15 to 20, different places, different coaches,
Yes.
or whatever. It's funny. I have Synergy is an account that do you know what Synergy
No,
is?
I don't.
It's all divisions, Division I, Division II, Division III.
Okay.
They all pay into it, and all the games that you play in are posted.
Okay.
Okay, so like you can go in to watch a game.
So you can watch all these games.
You can watch all these games.
Okay.
So I've got 3 college coaches. I won't tell you their names.
Have you watched for them?
Yeah. and
I love it.
And one of the guys, he just sent me the greatest text last week because he had a really, really bad loss. And then now they've won 4 in a row going into the conference tournament. Actually, they play tonight. He sent me this nicest text. He sent me a text on they won on Saturday or Friday night by like 7, and I said, hey, good, great win, tourney time. And he sent me this long text. He said, Coach, thanks for talking me off the bridge
Oh,
because he was so down.
He was all.
I've seen you there, buddy.
Oh,
We saw you one night. I saw you one
I was
night.
in the water.
No.
I wasn't on the bridge. I was in the water.
Hey, the night General McLean was playing at Slippery Rock. You were up in the balcony. I called him. I said, I thought he was going to go off. I thought you were going right off the damn edge. Because I'll tell you what, I hadn't seen you in a place like that. But I know what you're doing. There's
You
no euphoria.
look a little more refreshed.
Yeah.
Than you would in February.
I told him on the way in.
I'm as happy as I've been in
Oh,
years.
no.
In a
That
long
guy from
time.
Gannon the other. I told him. Coming in, he looked like Nixon after Watergate. Honest to God. That game will get you.
Oh,
it does.
Jeepers.
Roy Williams went down the other day.
Oh, Roy.
He went down. He went down. That's what happens.
Yeah, but when you lost that game, I texted him. I said, "Keep your head up. You still got a lot of basketball left." And he just, he said, "I think I'm gonna quit." He said, this is." And I called him up. So we usually text all these guys. So then I called.
You took this one serious, yes.
So I called him and I said, "Listen, get your head out of your tail."
Good job.
Mm-hmm. I said, here's the one thing I learned about being down. First of all, I have my faith.
It's the best thing going.
But here's what I know. And this is what I said to him. I said, this is what I know. He goes, what? I said, no matter how bad you're feeling, that sun's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is.
No matter how bad you're feeling, that sun is going to come up. And when you get out and you're sitting on that side of that bed and that sun is up and another day starts, you got a choice to make.
Every day.
Yeah.
You can either strap that thing
Yeah,
up
every day.
and get out there and put another good day's work in, or you can I can't tell him what I
I
tell
got
you.
it.
know,
No, we got it.
we
You know what
got
I'm
it.
saying?
Right, well, we know.
And I said to him, get up. The sun's going to come up. He said, my AD is going to set. He said, this was his quote was, my AD is going to meet me at the door when I get in. I said, you look at that guy and you say to him, good morning. You know what? I never thought the sun was going to come up again, but it came up today, and it
Good
came up
job.
this morning, and I'm going to work. See you later.
Yes.
And that's
You know,
exactly what he said to the
I
guy.
like it. Yes, but look him right in the eye and deal with that. Here's one of the things about those kind of guys, Coach.
I told him, now, don't go in the side door.
Meet him straight out.
You go right in that
Meet him
freaking front
straight
door
out.
when that guy's looking for you.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
he taught me this. Those coaches you're helping, they're confident people because they know that you know more than them. If you're not confident, you won't go to somebody.
Never ask.
You know,
No.
never ask because
No.
they don't want. They say he's going to make me look bad. So they're not a confident person.
No.
Right.
Those are the right people you want around. That
Yeah.
they're going to use. They're going to use what you want. See,
Well,
those
and that's 100%
Yes.
right. Because there'll be guys that'll come up to you and say, "Hey, coach, you want to get together and talk basketball?" And I'll say, "Sure, give me a call." The non-confident guys,
That call never comes. That call never comes.
They'll never call.
no, they call you, and you
then-
know it leaving.
You know what I mean? And then the other guys, they'll call you 15 times.
Yes.
They won't let you. Listen, I'll
That's
call
the one
you.
you want to go to. They
Yeah.
really care. They really know that they know you know a lot.
Yeah.
They know you're going to help them win games.
They know
You're
you
gonna help
know.
in all situations. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It could be a little box of one, a defensive situation, whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Like Kim says to me, she came in sometime at the beginning of February, end of January. And she says to me, what are you doing? I said, I got a text last night. You know,
great.
this coach wants me to look. He gave me a Synergy password. He wants me to look up these 2 games. They got this game coming up, and they want me to break down, against the
That's
zone.
so great.
Against the zone. And I said, so then I'm looking at that. Well, then later in the day, another guy texts me.
So
It
awesome.
says, hey, could you have Synergy? I said, yeah. I said, hey, can you look at this? And I said, sure, I'll look at it. So Kimsey said, are these guys paying you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I said,
This
no.
is so great.
No, it is. It's such
But
a compliment,
but it's
too.
It's been fun.
It's a super
But
compliment.
yeah, it is.
It's
just
a
good,
super.
you know,
It's
when you-
a compliment,
Yeah.
but it's also it's a your passion.
Yeah.
You did it so long, Coach. You just
Yeah.
knew that this was the time for me
Well,
to go.
it keeps
you know.
it keeps me fresh in the game too,
Yes.
Albert.
Yes.
In terms of,
Oh, yes.
in terms
Whatever's
of seeing
going on.
all
Yeah,
the new
you're not-
stuff
no,
that's
you're not.
going on.
Whatever's going
Hey,
on.
we have a minute. You said the word zone, and I want to pound my head on the table. I just tweeted it last night. Throwing the ball around the perimeter is not a zone offense, and then you chuck one. Have you ever see? They're starting to go to more zone now,
You gotta
and
get
these
the ball-
coaches aren't ready.
You got to get the ball inside and out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the ball's got to reverse, but you got to
You hear that, coaches? Please listen to what he
Inside
said.
and out, expand, contract.
Right. It sinks. The ball will sink in the zone. The defense will sink to ball level.
Yes.
And if they don't, then you're going to get a shot on the inside.
The shot you really want. Inside
Yeah.
shot.
Absolutely.
Inside out's the way to say it.
I got
was it.
3 great zone offenses.
But
too.
what do you got 30?
Get ready. You get ready to go. But no, we do understand. We're under 30 seconds. Coach, this is the greatest for us. We
Well,
look
that's
forward.
all-
Matter of fact, when we went to get our radio show, I sent this tape to the guy to say this is what we do.
How about that one we did you before?
Hired us on the spot.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's
story.
pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, so we owe you a lot.
Well, I love you guys. I
Well, it's
appreciate
relaxed. You know, it's
Yeah.
relaxing and it's
Yeah.
professional.
I've
and it's-
never felt better, Al.
No, yeah, no, you look good. I can tell you.
We're in the same boat, so we.
Oh, I know. I haven't lost a game in years, too. Hey, our time is up. I want to thank you for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.